Okay, this is Kayla Baity reporting with ShareDog, here with Liz Carmouche, fresh off your win just a couple of weeks ago. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. So yeah, you just got another big win over Jennifer Maya, and I like what you said, either pre or post fight, about just that division and how it's developing. For someone who's been around for quite a bit in the game, how necessary was it for them to add a 125 division, in your opinion?
I think it was really necessary. 125 has been one of the missing elements if you look at just straight across the board for women's MMA. When you look in Bellator and you looked in the UFC, it was limited. Until Lima started building up the 125 division in Bellator, they had taken it away. So now that's building up, and the UFC is kind of in that same place where they had tough, and now it's starting to get depth into that division. So the sky's the limit with it. And there were so many women before that, not just myself, but others, where they were truly 125ers, but to fight against the best in the world and have an opportunity to fight in the UFC, they went up a weight class. If you look at somebody like Jessica Andrade, she went up 2 weight classes just to have the opportunity. So now having a 115, 125, 135, that's exactly what we needed to do to just show just how proficient women are in MMA with the correct weight classes.
Yeah, I think there's still a couple divisions that could be added to really pull that out of people, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's a lot of women that could be in 105. Like we have one of our fighters, Rebecca Levine, and she's tiny, but she's fighting up at 115 just for the opportunity. And another person is fighting up 10 pounds. She could probably go like 95 or 105, but there's the opportunities. And I think we could get a lot more females in there and build up another weight class with the 105 division.
Do you feel like you're one fight away from that title? I know we finally have, a date set for the champion to make her first title defense. How close do you think you are to getting a title shot?
I think with the way that the Davis and Chikagian fight went, that it's just putting me in better standing towards having a contender spot. And I think the winner of the Shevchenko fight versus the champion will only put me in good standing, even better to line up for that contender spot. And I definitely see Valentina walking away with the belt, which would be a nice rematch for us, being that we fought, I think, my 3rd professional fight.
You had brought up Alima. You guys come from the same gym, and it must be nice just having each other and now having these divisions that have been developed, and now she's champion. How nice is it just to have someone there with you that's experiencing that's been around for a little bit?
It's great. Not only has Alima grown as a competitor, but she's grown just in how she presents herself and challenges herself to be the most professional person she can. When she had first got into MMA, it was kind of the same approach I did. We were both kind of like, I don't really know if it's something I want to do. We'll just see how far we can take it. And then she got really serious about it, and you can see that just in the format for the way she does interviews, with trying to do charities, her involvement in the community. Everything she's done is what a champion really should do. So having somebody like that you can challenge and also be there to mentor, I'm like, okay, well, this is what I went through fighting for the belt. This is what you can expect. And then also having somebody you're like, okay, I have to beat her at this aspect. It's always good because we're at every little point of everything, we're challenging each other, push a little bit harder. Like we'll be tired from practice, and I'll ask her, I'm like, are you gonna do this next practice? She's like, no, I'm gonna chill. I'm like, yeah, me too. Jump into practice. And then she'll do the same thing to me, like, oh, I'm not coming in this morning. I'm going to go for it later. I'm like, oh, cool. Then I can just relax. And I'll see her in the photo. I'm like, oh, she got me. So I constantly have that person that's challenging me to put my butt in the gym a little bit more.
People need someone to look up to relate to. And I think that it's so nice that now women are getting more examples of that. And then you're also someone that's an example for the LGBT community. So can you talk a little bit about just wanting to be someone to represent that community?
Yeah, absolutely. My time in the Marine Corps, I came out later than even the most late bloomers. I think I was 22 when I finally started to come out, but it was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the Marine Corps. So at that time, I couldn't openly come out to anybody. I was able to tell some very close friends and family, and that was it, maybe 4 people. It was the most that I could tell. Anybody other than that, and I was risking my career, and I wasn't willing to do that. So when I got out of the Marine Corps, I didn't necessarily make it my vendetta to be as open as possible, but I just didn't want to hide it anymore. I didn't want to shove in anybody's faces. I wanted to make people as comfortable as possible without it being this overwhelming, flamboyant factor, but still be strong in where I stood with it. And one of the subtle ways that I can do that is just having a rainbow mouthpiece. And it's kind of like my token marker that I carry with me. And it's also just kind of, it's a badge of strength for me because it was something that I had to overcome through such hardship in the Marine Corps to be openly out, and even in just different parts of my life. So I wanted to make sure that it was a strong statement that I had. And it's just a badge for myself, is always a reminder just to be the best example I can have, and to go out there, that I can always face adversity and come out as a stronger person at the end of it. So going into the fight, I wear that as just my own reminder that go in there and give it everything you have. No matter what happens, you'll come out on the other side stronger. Right before the fight, I actually had some people reach out about me trying to go out to the New York Pride. Unfortunately, it just fell in 3 weeks before my fight, and there's just no way that I can take off 3 days that close. That's just like such an important time. And then there's been a few people that have just reached out for advice, not really so much for the community to be a representative, just for people that are looking for a mentor that can help guide them towards opening up to their family.
I want to talk to you also about being a mom as a fighter, because there's a few mamas in there, but you are a smaller group of ladies that are a mother and also an active fighter. So how is that?
You know, it's great and difficult all at the same time. I want to be able to give them more time, and I want to be there as much as I can. We have our morning routine, and I try and meet up with them at lunch to make sure I have that time to play with them, and then my evening routine. And the great thing about me is I am an endless source of energy. So I kind of balance out my wife in that when she needs a break, I'm like, all right, tag, I'm in, let's go. And just try and run him tired, but he doesn't get tired. But it has so many rewards. And for me, it's just always trying to find time to make sure that I give time to my family, and always making sure that I'm there for them. I think probably the most difficult time is when they're sick and I want to take care of them, but I also need to kind of step back from my own training, which I end up being like, whatever, which is what happened in my last fight, where I'm like, I'll just take care of you two, and that kicked me right in the butt fight week. But thanks to my wife, we're able to have a good balance where she's able to stay at home with him and she raises him full time, and then I just kind of step in when I can to help her out and just teach him a little bit of Japanese, teach him about the culture, and just run around wild with him.
Okay, and everyone's back to being healthy at home?
Yeah, I think I'm the only one that still has a lingering congestion from it. Everybody else is fine and moved on.
All right, so then I guess last question for you is, you brought up 2 names or brought up the title fight that's going on, but who would you like to fight next if they called you and asked you?
Whoever has that belt.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.